Episode 63 coming at you. Let's get it.
Birds.
You had them.
Perfect. Welcome to Dirty Fanatics.
Falcon fans, Falcon Nation, episode 63 coming at you live on a Friday night. As always, it is 8 o'clock and Dirty Fanatics Night is ready to talk Falcon football. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe. 380 subscribers, man.
Yes, sir.
We are moving up the charts, man. Hit that like button, leave a comment. We want to chat Falcon football with you. Philip, Cody, what's going on, man? How we been doing? Short week, man. Episode on Wednesday. Now we're back Friday night. Guys, what's going on? Talk to me.
Oh, shoot. Well, pretty much all I think I've been doing is whipping up a few little art pieces here and there, and then paying attention like what's going on with the media with like our birds and everything. See how that things is going, how it's looking, and it sounds good so far. So I'm happy.
Yes, sir. It's always good to see OTA videos coming out on Twitter. Seeing Kirk Cousins throw the ball, hearing Kirk Cousins takes Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan all down to Florida with John Gruden for a little study camp there in Florida. Kirk Cousins with the continuity early in this offseason. Cody, what's going on, brother? How you been doing? What's been going on this short week, brother?
Yeah, man. Let's say it feels like we were just doing this the other day with y'all. Talk about the schedule coming out. So it's good to be back to talk Dirty Bird football. Man, just working away, man. It seems like that's what I get to do. Wake up, go to work, come here, sit here and wait till it's time to talk about our birds.
Yes, sir. Always a fun time. Like I said,
Yes,
talking
sir.
Falcon football with the boys. Falcon fans, hit that like button, hit that share. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Before we jump into the Falcon talk, man, I want to dive into something a little more serious than this thing we love in football. Guys, if you're watching this channel, you obviously are a supporter of DFU. That being said, man, I want to bring awareness to the channel of something that's been going on here through the channel. My guy, Cody's father, has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer of the pancreas and liver. I want you guys, if you have anything helps, even if you just share the page, just share the post, head over to Facebook, man. If you want to donate, there's the page. All you have to do is go to donate now, just to help relieve some stress off this family, give them, some hope in time of need. As I said, he's not able to work due to having to go get medical reasonings. So anything helps, man. And I just wanted to announce that before we get into this Dirty Bird talk. Cody, Philip, we ready to talk Falcon football?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it. Atlanta Falcon news and updates coming at you live. Not much going on the offseason, but we do have some updates for you here on DFU. Ade Ogen has been released from the Atlanta Falcons. Philip, Cody, is this a surprise move to us, or is this something we've seen coming a long, long time from now?
After not seeing him do a whole lot, play or pretty much anything really much and get a little bit of light, yeah, it's not really a surprise to me. Doesn't mean I don't wish him well. So I do wish him well with somewhere else, wherever it may be. Other than that, but no, it's not much of a surprise.
Cody, your thoughts, obviously, at the Benz every Sunday. You've seen Ogen since the day he was drafted here in Atlanta. Cody, your thoughts about Ogen parting ways here from Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that, like I was expecting to happen really, but am I really surprised by it? Not really. I think he had 20 some starts.
Yep.
You hear, you always hear, the guys that are doing what they're supposed to be doing's name over the loudspeakers, and his name wasn't called very often. So, I mean, am I surprised? No. Am I hurt by it? Not really. But I want him to do well wherever he goes. Thanks, for the time here in Atlanta that you spent, but no real big surprise that this happened.
Ogen Deji's time here in Atlanta, man. There was flashes. There was times that I was a fan of Ogen Deji, and I thought that he could possibly make that hump and become that future edge rusher that we needed here in Atlanta. But obviously, as Falcon fans, we've seen that did not work out. Was able to mentor a draft pick that we traded up for in the second round, Arnold Ebiketie. I'm sure Ebiketie appreciated that veteran presence that was around. So thank you, Ogen Deji, for everything that you've done here for the franchise. Best of luck to wherever you end up going, as long as it's not the Panthers, the Saints, or the Bucks. But best of luck to you, brother, and thank you for your time here in Atlanta. Real quick, roll call here in the chat. Wallace Smith said, "What's going on, fellas?" Wallace Smith, appreciate you tuning in, brother. He says, "My prayers goes out to him and his family." Wallace,
Appreciate it, man.
appreciate it. Don Lint in the chat said, "Thank y'all." Don Lint, thank you for leaving a comment. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. We talked about the football.
Yep, that's Mama right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to moms there in the chat. Falcon fans, big news here for Dirty Fanatics United. Our guy, Matty Ice. Happy birthday to number 2, Matty Ice.
Matt Ryan.
Real quick, we'll go around the table. We'll talk about the man, the legend of the cover of NCAA Football 09 himself, Matty Ice.
Yeah, we played all the time.
Let's go around the table real quick. Philip, give me your best favorite. I know you have a million. You could go on for the whole show about Matty Ice, but give me the best play you remember from Matty Ice, his time here in Atlanta. Chat, you as well.
Oh, man. I know
if you don't know, I'll go first. If you don't know, I'll go first.
It might be a little corny, but it's definitely his ever first pass. That's just to my very first favorite wide receivers, Matt to Michael Jenkins. It was just a big moment, man. I just remember hearing it. Just the commentator, man. It's just something that you love to hear, man.
He lives in Atlanta.
Like it to this day, it gives me goosebumps just watching it, man. It was a fun moment.
Yes, sir.
Cody, you obviously heard the question. Your favorite moment of Matty Ice, obviously a diehard Matt Ryan fan here, and Cody. Your favorite moment here for Matty Ice?
Man, like you said, I could go on. I could do an entire podcast on Matt Ryan and what he did for Atlanta, but my favorite Matt Ryan moment is NFC Championship 2016 when he runs that ball in for the touchdown, dude. And Dave Archer says, "How bad does number 2 want it?" And you could tell that there was that like, man, that moment, like I'm getting goosebumps talking about, just thinking about how bad Matt Ryan wanted to win for the Falcons. Not only that championship game, that Super Bowl, but man, yeah, I could go on forever. I'll end it on that. But, that's definitely my favorite Matt Ryan moment is how bad does number 2 want it?
I would have to say, Cody, that is a damn good moment there for Matty Ice. And Philip, yours as well. Both very good moments here in Atlanta for Matty Ice. But one to me that just really stands out that I play in my head over and over and over is the deep ball to Julio Jones against the Carolina Pansies on their undefeated season to go ahead and ruin that streak there for the Panthers. The only team to do so other than the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. So, man, it was a feeling. Philip, you actually won the free giveaway on the Julio Jones shirt when he did
the dab.
In the end zone. So, shout out to the Atlanta Falcons, man.
I can't hear him saying. I would say it's like you said, it was awesome, to have Matt Ryan here for the time that we had him. I would say the other thing how could anybody ever forget the moment Matt Ryan turns his head and he looks at, everybody thought he was talking to Julio, but he said, comes out and says, "I was talking to Mohamed Sanu. Get fucking set." Dude, that is something that I will never forget. I've got a flag in my man cave, where you can tell Matt's pumped up. It's just that get fucking set, man. I'll say that is easily one of my favorite Matt Ryan moments.
Just wanting to win. It was just the competitiveness. That was the season where we did go to compete for the Super Bowl as well. We went deep in the playoffs that year as well. And I was there for the Seattle game.
Mhm.
Man, that NFC Championship game though was special against Green Bay where he did run it in.
Yes.
That was one of my favorite moments as well. I think mine and it might not be another moment. It's crazy, but the pass in the Super Bowl, it didn't end in how we wanted, but the pass to Julio, the deep ball, put us in field goal position, and it was crazy.
Absolutely.
Can you guys hear me?
Crazy.
Now we can hear you.
All right, let me get this camera set back right. Guys, continue going on what you're talking about. Technical difficulties over here.
You're absolutely right, Philip. If we win that Super Bowl, that pass to Julio Jones from Matt Ryan where he toe taps there is top 5 Super Bowl catches all time. Easily.
No doubt. No doubt. That's number
Still
one.
Easily number one.
Yeah. As I was saying before I left, before I had the episode here on the channel, my guy Robert Stevens in the chat said, "Good evening, gentlemen." Robert Stevens, glad to have you here on the show tonight, brother. Hit that like button. Robert, you seen the comment on Facebook, man. We got to meet up this year, link up, drinks on DFU, man. Round of shots here for the boys. So shout out to Robert Stevens for coming into the chat, man. Wallace Smith said, "I knew this was going to happen with Ogen being that odd man out, and he probably got beat out by Bradley that they signed last week. And I wish him well with his next team." Shout out to Wallace Smith for the well condolences to Ogen. Miss Carey in the chat said, "Falcons fam, happy Friday, everyone. Happy birthday to Maddie Ice." Hit that like button, everyone. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Much love to everyone. If you're watching, man, leave a comment. Let us know what you're talking about here with these Atlanta Falcons. What's going on, Philip?
The favorite moment. Okay, this was our very first ever game. It was the last home game of the regular season of 2016 against the Saints. You were there. He walked onto the field. We started the MVP chat.
MVP.
We started
MVP.
And it went around the whole entire stadium in our section. I promise.
Man.
That is not no lie. I promise you guys. We started an MVP chant as soon as he walked onto the field. It just soared around the stadium.
It's crazy times, man. Crazy times in Atlanta. And that's the good thing, guys, because guess what? With this Kirk Cousins hire, with this Michael Penix Jr. draft pick, we have years to come of these fun memories. Will they be as good as what we had with Matt Ryan? Who knows? But I pray that they are better than what we had with Matt Ryan. I pray that we get that Super Bowl ring. I pray that we can eventually bring this whole thing together, man, and be the team that we know these Dirty Birds can be, and who Terry and the whole organization wants them to be. Falcon fans, we got one more Atlanta Falcon news and update for you. I apologize for any lag here on the channel tonight. StreamYard is really affecting me here tonight. Next update for you tonight, Philip, if you want to, I'll go ahead and put this on the big screen so you got to read it all. NFC South by category at the line of scrimmage. Best team, the Atlanta Falcons. Worst team, obviously, the Panthers. Best offense. You see this. Best offense. We have a quarterback, people. The Atlanta Falcons. Now, this is where I want to talk about best defense. How does the Saints have a better defense than us? Let's talk about that. How is that graded? Because if I'm being honest with you, I think we could fill every poll here, but maybe receiver, because Mike Evans has you give him the veteran respect there. You give him the better receiver. He's been doing it
for a while.
Right. So let's talk about the defense here. The Saints defense ranks better than the Falcons, but obviously by the poll, the Falcons win at 75% of the way. Your guys' thoughts about do the Aints really have a better defense than what we have?
No, I would say if you really look at the Saints defense, there's only two players to me really stand out, and that's Lattimore and that's Cam Jordan. And other than that, I know they're big up front, but I mean we're big. I mean we're going to be big up front too. So I mean we took Amimata from them. So you're telling me Amimata wasn't a huge part of their defense? He was. I mean, same thing with Caden Ellis. He was a huge part of their defense, and we've got him too. So we've got two of the four of their best defensive players playing for us. And you're telling me that Lattimore is better than Jesse Bates? I don't think so.
If anything, Tampa has a better defense than New Orleans.
Right.
Their cornerbacks are a lot better than the Saints, is what I was thinking as well. The only thing that they could have above us, I would say, is the cornerback spot, because if you look at the Bucs D-line, their second-round draft pick last year, and Logan Hall really hasn't turned out to be what they thought he was going to be on the D-line.
And they lost
no shots at Logan Hall, though. He just plays for the wrong team. Shout out to Logan Hall. His cousin actually is like one of my best buds. So shout out to Logan Hall and Andre. Shout out to your cousin, man. But the Bucs, their D line as well is not what
They used to be.
they thought they were going to be, or what they used to be when you had what was the freaking Hawaiian freak that was in the middle? God, what was his name?
I know what you're talking about.
Solai, was something like that,
Something like
Soli
that.
or some shit like that, but was a freaking beast, dude. I will give him that. The Bucs usually had a pretty decent D line, but I think this year, man, I mean, the Falcons come out of the draft with the most improved D line after the draft. I would say that they cheated us on that. I believe we should have had another spot, even though we own the whole calendar. We should have had that spot there, I believe, on the calendar. Best player, obviously, Chris Lindstrom. You know, he is.
Mhm.
Philip was asking me earlier, why Chris Lindstrom, though? Like, he not bashing Chris Lindstrom, but you look for that sexy skill pick there for best player. But if you look at the past few years, man, he's been your best solid player for the past 3-4 years on PFF grades.
Yep.
Throughout the whole league, damn near the best guard, if not the best, the second best in the league behind Trent Williams. So there's a lot of hype around Chris Lindstrom, man. And I hope he continues to play at that high level. Quarterback, obviously Kirk Cousins, the veteran quarterback in the NFC South.
Like that.
Obviously, we had the best quarterback class, I'd say, in the whole NFL. I'm sorry, but we do. Give me a better duo, and we'll argue about it. Bijan Robinson, obviously the best running back. Mike Evans, receiver, and then you got our boy, the unicorn, tight end, Kyle Pitts. Any subject there you guys disagree with other than defense?
That's it.
I would say the only thing that I'll
agree with the worst team. I strongly agree with that. I mean, as you see at the very bottom, it says we suck.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only thing that I disagree with is I understand Mike Evans is the veteran, and I guess you give him that veteran nod. But man, for my money, if you're telling me Drake London, if he continues to get better, you're telling me Drake London right now closer to his prime than Mike Evans is,
right?
Isn't a better wide receiver than Mike Evans?
He's finally got a quarterback. It's going to show. He's finally got a quarterback. It's definitely fixing the show. Shout out to Michael Lockwood in the chat. He said, "You guys are great, and thank y'all." Hey, battle, Michael, battle. We know you're going to beat it. Do your thing, man. Much love to you. Prayers out to you and your family. DSGB Hall in the chat said, "What it do, fellas?" DSGB Hall, shout out to you, brother. Hit that like button. LaMarcus Boyd, a big-time Dirty Fanatic United fan, said, "What's up, fellas? What's up, LaMarcus Boyd? Happy Teacher Appreciation Month, I believe it is. I'm a couple weeks late, but happy Teacher Appreciation LaMarcus Boyd." Carlton Blunt said, "No way the Aints defense is better." Wallace Smith in the chat said, "The Saints middle linebacker DeMario is pretty good, too." He is. And shout out to Demarius Davis. That's the only Aints fan that I'll give a shout out to because of the whole do-rag situation with the John 3:16 verse on the back. NFL said he could not wear it, and the man still repped it. So shout out to you, DeMario. Do your own thing, but when you come to Atlanta, dog, you got to take the L. Got to take the L. So that's all the Falcon news and updates for today. Actually, there is one more Falcon news update. I didn't pull it up, but I will go ahead and screen share that if I can. It's the Kyle Pitts article that's been going around. Kyle Pitts says he finally feels healthy and finally has a full year under his belt to where he can learn a new offense. Is loving the new scheme. Said he feels like a super rookie here in Atlanta. He said he's obviously not a rookie, but guys, your thoughts about a healthy Kyle Pitts here in this offense?
It's going to be scary, man. It's going to be scary. If he, is 100% healthy, like, he's saying is, and I have no reason to not believe him. Man, good luck to opposing defenses picking your poison. What are you going to do? Bijan, Tyler, Kyle, Drake, Mooney, and these guys, it's going to be good. All I can say is good luck to y'all.
It's giving me 2016 vibes, kind of. You pick your poison. Who are you going to guard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I'm not going to jump the gun because you never know what may happen. God willing, nothing happens. I want to see success, but
right.
It just gives off that 2016 team vibe, but with a better quarterback duo. But I'm not throwing shade to Ryan. Ryan just didn't have that second guy behind him like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We all know that for a fact. And a better running back duo. You know what I mean? It's just and to be honest, we got better tight end. Let's be honest with you.
No. Kyle Pitts putting over 1,000. It was 1,023 yards. His rookie.
What a great quarterback!
Obviously, almost beat the record of Mike Ditka, a legend. And if he would have had that one more game, he definitely would have did so.
And Ryan was trying.
Kyle Pitts helped me, man. Raheem Morris talked about it. He said that he was going to rely on Kyle Pitts this year. To have a healthy Kyle Pitts was huge because they know what that can mean here in Atlanta. Kyle Pitts spoke on the fact that he was appreciative and he thanked God every day that the Falcons took the chance and signed his fifth-year option. To hear your tight end say that, he wanted to be here in Atlanta, guys, you got to feel good about it. You got to feel good that Kyle Pitts wants to be here in Atlanta. He didn't want a new scenery. He feels like this here is the new scenery for him. He talked about how new coaching staff, new playbook, a healthy Kyle Pitts. He said he just feels like it's his rookie season again. He's ready to go. He's ready to get back on the field. And like my guy here, LaMarcus Boyd said, dangerous is what it means for a healthy Kyle Pitts. He says, right on, Chase. Thanks for the shout out. Thanks to you, LaMarcus Boyd. Appreciate everything you do here for the channel, man. Hit that like button, hit that share. We talking Falcon football. Next subject of tonight, boys. That was just subject of the topic of tonight for topic one. We got a whole list for you here coming at you live. That was actually two topics with the super rookie deal with Kyle Pitts. Third topic here for Dirty Fanatics United tonight. The Falcons will win the NFC South, and here's why. Give me your reasons of why the NFC South belongs to the Atlanta Falcons.
Simply, just number one on my list, we're just going to whoop ass. That's just how it is. But besides that, we're going to get into a deeper meaning. It's a different vibe here in Atlanta. We all know it. We feel it. They have a chip on their shoulder. We haven't been the same team for over 6 years. We're ready to start winning. It's just what they got planned. They're just going to, like I said, they got a chip on their shoulder. They're going to want to go out and win. We're going to have better play ability out there. It's just how it is. We got coaching's going to be a lot better. I mean, it's a whole different, better atmosphere. Like I said, it's feeling like a 2016 team. It's just fun. It's just, exciting, but it's also still doing what we got to do to get it done. And I think that's what we're going to do. And honestly, I don't see why we shouldn't be a 12-4 or 11 or 12-5 or 11-6 team.
100%.
I don't see why not.
I agree 100% with you, Philip. Cody, obviously, we all here in agreement. The Falcons can and will win the NFC South here in the NFL. Your thoughts on how the Falcons succeed that, and just give these fans a little insight on what's the success, what's the recipe to success here with a Kirk Cousins, a Drake London, a Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, a Ray McLeod, just numerous targets here in Atlanta. A Bijan Robinson, a Tyler Algier. Cody, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's like we were just saying. I mean, this offense is going to be high powered. We have got arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, if not, I know people argue Patrick Mahomes, and
right,
and that's fine. But even if that's the case, he's easily top 3, top 5. Yep. So that's going to be our recipe to success. Is we're actually going to have a quarterback that's going to have consistent quarterback play, who's going to have minimal turnovers, big yards, lots of touchdowns. It's going to be pick your poison. Are you covering Bijan? You covering Kyle? Where are you double teaming that you're not going to still get burnt somewhere? And as much credit as I'd like to give, the offense for being it, the defense, man. The defense is coming back healthy. We're getting back Grady Jarrett. I know we've lost Bud Dupree and we've lost homeboy that just came from Lions. Okuda. Yes, thank you. I would say, I know we lost him. But my thing is you're getting a healthy Grady Jarrett back. You possibly getting Calais Campbell to get back. The NFL is already, the guys that, take care of, who's the most improved? We're already the most improved defensive line in the NFL. So you're telling me that our defensive line is going to easily be better than it was last year. And even though, we were like 2 or 3 plays away from, not sacking a quarterback, from losing 3 games, the Cardinal game, the Steeler game, that's going to change too. And the other thing is the coaching staff that we're coming in it's like Philip keeps saying, it's got that 2016 vibe where everybody's wanting to play for everybody. Everybody wants to play together. It's, how can we be together as a, I'll throw out the brotherhood thing. how can we be a brotherhood? How can we work together? What can we do to be better together? How do we mold together, fit together, that everybody can do their job at the best possible way? And it's things like that just really give me hope, not only just give me hope, but like really tell me that, hey, this team is winning the NFC South. Not only because, the quarterback, the great running back, the defense that's coming back healthy, the great, they're going to learn together again. For the main part, our core is all intact. And then when you upgrade that much at the quarterback position, it's huge. So, I mean, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that not only do we win the South and dominate the South, that I think we beat teams that people aren't expected to beat. Kansas City, if we walk away with a W from Monday night, it's going to be, we can't believe, the national media, I can't believe that, Taylor Swift was in Atlanta and they got smoked by Atlanta. And I'm not going to be surprised.
If the Falcons go to Philly, Cody, if the Falcons go all the way to Philly, I believe it's a Sunday night game. Or Monday night game, one or two. If the Falcons go all the way to Philly and stomp a mud hole in Jalen Hurts, all these defensive gurus they have, all those dogs there in Philly, Falcon fans are going to get recognized, and the Falcons will be all over Sport Network. Everybody will be riding their coattail.
It's just like,
as a fan, I'll be stupid happy.
It's just like what Raheem said back in a few months ago. Why not us? Why not? 100%. Why can't it be us?
And, my keys to success for the Falcons to win the NFC South, and here's why I say that, man. I talked about it a little bit, and you guys' points were dead on everything I wanted to talk about. But just the targets that Terry has assembled his time here in Atlanta, you look at the guy. Let's just talk about offense here for a second. Just draft. You look at who he's got. You got Bijan, you got Drake London, you got Kyle Pitts. You just drafted Michael Penix Jr. You went in the later rounds and drafted a guy from no other than I believe it was team? I believe it's not Purdue. Tyler Algier, wherever the hell he went to college, BYU. The blue team, BYU. You go and you trade up, you get a Tyler Algier in the later rounds. You have all these weapons. You even went last year and went for a Jonnu Smith, parted ways with Jonnu Smith, but a second string tight end with 500 yards here in Terry's offense without a quarterback. Terry's offense is set for success. Terry has built this team for success, and you can look at it the same way on the defense side of the ball. You don't come out of the draft as the best improved defensive line by luck. This is strategy. This is scheme. This is study. I mean, we have got the best GM, I would say, in the league right now. We got a sneaky good pick from the Aints. Shout out to the Aints for letting him come over to Atlanta, because you wouldn't give him the GM job in New Orleans, which was a major L for you guys, and we greatly appreciate it. But just the team and the vibe and the can we all agree that what's the word I'm looking for? The not chemistry, but the vibe in Atlanta is different since Terry has came. The scene in Atlanta is different since this new regime has taken over. To see a Raheem Morris as a head coach, to have the first all-black staff here in Atlanta, to have something to look forward to, set history here in Atlanta, is the time to do it. And I truly believe Raheem Morris is going to take this team to the playoffs. We're going to be in the playoffs, and we're going to make a deep run, guys. If it's not all the way, it's going to be a deep run, and I truly stand behind that. And like I said earlier, if anybody wants to argue about it, there's the comment section. We'll chat about it. But I really believe the Falcons win the NFC South this year. And please, if you don't agree, we can definitely talk. Just comment about it. Let's talk about it. William Amy in the chat said, I keep saying that win in Philly game. That is major, bro. That is major for us to get that win in Philly. And Tyler Algier too. Exactly. Tyler Algier is the bomb to the run defense or run offense.
I don't see why we don't win in Philly. I'm not what you say worried about the KC game, but I'm not really sweating the Philly game. That's just me. I feel like we could take them with ease. That's just how I am right now. Like looking at what we got right now.
I can see us doing it. Lamarcus Boyd in the chat. I'm going to be in them Philly streets supporting my birds. Lamarcus Boyd, man, shout out to you, brother. Very hostile area. I've never been to a game in Philly, but I did travel up that area for work about 2-3 years back.
Crazy, man.
Those guys up there, man, are something else. And I will say they do rep them Eagles pretty hard. So, Lamarcus boy, man, I know you're going to be in them streets supporting them Dirty Birds, brother.
Didn't their fans burn down half the city when they won the Super Bowl?
Bro, they had to grease the light poles up with Crisco oil because they were like climbing fucking light streets and stuff. Like those
it was pretty
wild.
That last month or Sunday night was pretty wild. It was pretty wild.
I'll tell you what, for as vicious as they are in Philadelphia, when they come here, they're actually pretty calm, which surprises me. Yeah. Or at least I've not had any problems with Philly fans here in Atlanta.
I haven't had problems with them, but I did see some that were kind of like crazy, though. I was like looking up at them like, I ain't messing with that.
It's a different scenery, I'm sure, in Philly at a game. It's going to be a vibe, man. It's an early game in the season, so even if the Birds were to take an L in that game, it's still early. It's still time to bounce back. You do have a tough opponent the next week in the Chiefs, so we would love to come back with a W on the road, man. Your first road win on a primetime game.
Well, I feel like we play. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was saying. No, I feel like we play. Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like we play Philadelphia well in primetime games, though. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean,
I think it'll be close.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be close. I definitely think that, but I think we don't struggle with Philadelphia the way that other teams do for some reason, or the Chiefs. So it's just like Philip said. It's like I'm not concerned because I'm a Falcon fan, so my blood pressure is gonna be high no matter what. But at the same time, I'm not worried about those teams.
My boy Jack from One Time for the Fan, head over to One Time for the Fan, hit that like button and subscribe to them boys. Said, "Oh, we deep in Philly." Hashtag the Rise Up Tour fan club. Shout out to the Rise Up Tour. My boy Thomas, as he's already mentioned, when we hit 400, they are giving away 4, I believe it was 3 or 4 season passes there for the Rouse Up Tour. You will be a member. That means you have discounts on away hotels. You travel with the team, or not the team, but might as well be the team, the fan base, pretty much. And, you meet a whole group of guys, a whole group of gals. You meet family, new friends. The Rouse Up Tour, man, they do it big. Shout out Thomas and my boy Jack for starting that up. Lamarcus boy in chat said, but we need this win. They have kept us from making it deep into the playoffs for a couple of years. You're exactly right. And then you had that embarrassing home opener in the bins that year, week 1 against Philly. That's the only game I say that we struggled, man. That was Philip. We were there.
Was it Philly?
It was Philly. I remember. I'm pretty sure it was Philly in the home opener. Am I wrong?
I think I remember something like that. I don't know.
It was like 3 years ago. It was like one of Matt Ryan's last. It was Arthur Smith's first year as head coach here in Atlanta.
I just remember I've had some times in that stadium.
I want to look this up because I want to be sure that I'm right, because it was pretty.
I don't think we should count anything that Arthur Smith did here as struggling or anything like that.
Arthur Smith first game.
That's a fair share of times here in this Benz. Walking out a little upset, but then you get home, you're like,
yeah, here we go.
Have fun.
Here we go. In the 2021 season, on September the 12th, 2021, Smith lost in his head coaching debut against the Philadelphia Eagles by a score of 32-6. 32-6.
I must have wiped that one from my memory.
Oh my God!
Now that we're talking about it, I do remember, but I didn't think it was that bad.
I don't remember it being that bad, but.
I remember the game, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Got him.
Because you see, the only Philly game that I remember, I think it was maybe Dan Quinn. I think it was still when we beat them at home. That little Sunday night game.
Yep, I was there for that.
Yeah, I was there as well. Like other than that, that's the only Philly game I truly fully. Remember.
One time for the fan in the chat says, smash the like button, chat. Hit that like. You see it in the comments. It's free. It don't take but a second. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when we go live here at DFU. William Amy in the chat said, Arthur Smith was our head coach. Yup, LOL. 2021. Lamarcus Boyd said it was. We got sandwiches that game. Week 1. It was bad. Yeet 2 memberships at 400. Tampa and Carolina away game event information dropping soon. Your boy Thomas told me 4, so we're gonna have to coordinate that. Thomas may have had a little bit too much to drink that night, but maybe it was 2. I can't remember. I thought he said 4. But either way, we're grateful to give away 2 Rise Up Tour memberships to 2 diehard Atlanta Falcon fans here on the show. Shout out to you guys for giving us that opportunity to give that away to these diehards that tune in and dedicate their Friday nights here to DFU. Falcon fans, hit that like button, hit that share. We're talking Falcon football here on DFU. Falcon fans, we got one more subject here for you tonight. We may have a special guest. The check down, if he gets back home in time, will be here to talk Falcon football with DFU. But Falcon fans, we have one more subject for you, and this one is kind of just a scenario scene. This isn't something that DFU is hoping for. This isn't something that we really want to talk about, but this is something we want to mention just in case if it does happen throughout the season. DFU can say they talked about it. Guys, the subject for here in chat, I want you to get active on this. If you think it's a stupid subject, tell us. Michael Penix Jr. here in Atlanta, Kirk Cousins here in Atlanta. At what point in the season, if any point in the season, let me see how I rephrase this, because I rephrased it very specifically so people wouldn't think I was coming at Kirk Cousins. Let's see. Give me 1 second. It says, at what state would the team need to be to see a Michael Penix Jr. start? So, and that question means that at what state are you saying, okay, it's time for the rookie? At any point of the season, where would this team have to be to see a Michael Penix Jr. get a start at quarterback? Philip, your start right here.
Okay, so I'm not even thinking about losing. That's not even on my mind. The only way I feel like we see that is if in some games we are ahead by big. You might see it. Who knows? But the scenario is we're talking about it. So I think that, if in certain scenarios like that we are, we could see him potentially come in and finish out a game for the last 3 to 2 minutes, if we're up big, or possibly, man, it could be, I don't know, man, but, or possibly, I'm going ahead and say it. I feel like we're going to be ready in the talks for the playoffs. I feel like we already have our spot solidified. I think that maybe last 1 or 2 games, you might see a full-on Penix game if you already have your spot solidified. That's my only thing in my head that
hoping to see that closer out against the Panthers. You get to see your rookie quarterback against the sorry Pansies. That would be great to see. Cody, what scenario does the team need to be in this year? What state does the fan base start calling for Michael Penix Jr.?
Well, if we're talking about the fan base, it's the first time Kirk Cousins throws an interception.
Shit.
I was gonna say I love my Falcons, but I also know how our brothers and sisters can be when it comes to that kind of thing. It'll be the first time the fan base. It will be the first time Kirk Cousins throws an interception or has like a 2 interception, 3 touchdown, 250-yard game. And Bijan bails us out somehow. Now I'm with Philip on this. The only reason that I could even see there, that I'll give you 2 reasons. This season that happening is, one, we've got the division wrapped up week 14, which we should come off the bye, win that. I forget who we play right after the bye. We wrap it up. We're 3-4 games ahead, and it doesn't matter if we lose out, win out. I could see him taking, after the first half, taking snaps, and God forbid anything happen to Kirk Cousins this year. Yeah. If it looks like Kirk is hurt and he's not fully back from that Achilles, which by all records, I'm not saying that Kirk is hurt or that he's injury prone or anything like that. It's just one of those things. Is like right now he looks really, really good, but we haven't put the pads on. We're not going full speed. We're just throwing in shorts and a t-shirt. Yep. So I fully expect Kirk to be ready to go. But that's the only way that I could see a Michael Penix full-on start is we've got the division wrapped up. We're playing Carolina, and if something happens to Kirk, God forbid, which I'm not wanting to see. I like Michael Penix, and I hope he's our quarterback for the next 20 years, but I don't want to see him for the next 4 because I'm hoping Kirk is taking us deep into the playoffs, Super Bowl runs, and stuff like that.
Yep, 100%, man. I would say this is where the Achilles comes into play for me, Cody. You mentioned you don't want to rush Kirk Cousins back. You want him to be healthy. You want him to be 100% when we get out there on that field week 1 against Pittsburgh Steelers and Arthur Smith. That's why I think you can see a lot of Michael Penix Jr. here in preseason. I think you'll see a lot of him. You'll see a lot of whoever the backup is behind Penix. Maybe you don't play Penix the whole preseason just because you don't want to take that chance on injuring your future there in the preseason. But guys, we got to admit it would be pretty dope to see Michael Penix Jr. ball out in preseason. I mean, that would be cool. You're probably going to have a lot of Falcon fans in the seats for those games, preseason games, just to see your young quarterback throw the ball. But I would agree, man. I hope not to see Penix this year, not because I hate Penix, but because I want to see Kirk do good. I want to see this team do good. I want to see Penix learn and grow behind the veteran Kirk Cousins. It's always good to have that. Obviously, we haven't had that since Matt Ryan left, and we never needed that when Matt Ryan was here because of the type of play that Matt Ryan put out. You never thought about a backup. Throughout Matt Ryan's whole career, I think maybe he missed 2 to 3 games his whole career. So, I mean, Matty Ice was a very prominent guy to not get injured. He was very strong, very healthy quarterback. So you want that in Michael Penix Jr. when he takes the field at his rookie debut, or not rookie debut, his season debut. I would say also the only way I see Michael Penix Jr. taking the helm here in Atlanta is if you just somehow, just some way can't figure out how to run the offense with Kirk Cousins. And I would say throughout the years, his stats, his history shows that he is very coachable. He catches on the playbooks very well. I'm sure he's had numerous offensive coordinators throughout his career. Always has been a gunslinger. You finally have the targets here in Atlanta to be a gunslinging team, and Drake London, Kyle Pitts, all those guys, Raven McLeod, Mooney. This offense could be explosive. Even a Bijan maybe getting more passes out of the backfield. You've seen a little bit of his rookie year with a sorry coach like Arthur Smith. So to see a coach that could come in and draw up some creative plays, give us routes other than go routes. I think this Atlanta Falcons team can be very, very explosive here on the offense side of the ball and defense side of the ball. Hearing a lot of rumors, actually, guys, about Calais Campbell maybe making a return here in Atlanta. I've heard a lot of buzz about the Falcons getting ready to meet with Calais Campbell. Hopefully, maybe this is one of those late signings like we did last year, right before training camp with Calais Campbell. Guys, your thoughts on a possible Calais Campbell return?
I don't know. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Have somebody like that come in and, you know, continue to train guy, like, you know, it's just like the mentor to like somebody like Harrison, you know, and then also bringing in with Trice and everybody, just all these good big rookies that's given, like, it has a good size, you know, that's having another guy like a vet like him with the same size. He could show them, you know, get them under the ropes, you know, get them ready to see what it, you know, how it is to teach him what he has done in his career. Cause we know he wasn't just no slouch in his early days, you know, it's just something like that. If we could have one of them guys turn out to what he was back in the day, you know, that would just be great. You know, it's just a mentor, you know, his vibes as well. He's just always positive. You know, I like how he thinks. He doesn't go out there and just thinks about, oh, what if we can't do this? I watched his mic'd up a good bit of times. We're going to go out there and we're going to do this.
Right.
That's what I like to see. I'm all for it. You know, I hope we get him back.
It would be great, Philip. I agree with you 100% to see Calais Campbell, a late signing, signifying that late Dwight Freeney signing back in 2016 to really signify that D-line here in Atlanta. Obviously, Philip, you brought up a good point with the rookies you brought in. Obviously, that's why we are the most improved defensive line after the draft. So even if Calais Campbell was done, like William Amy said in the comment section, and some do believe he is done, and he just may be done. Calais Campbell has had an excellent career here throughout his NFL career. So if Calais Campbell did decide to hang it up, man, you know, there's no hate towards the guy. He's definitely getting up there in age. To see, you know, Calais Campbell signed with another team, though, that would kind of hurt. Cody, your thoughts about Calais Campbell?
Yeah, no, I would love to see Calais Campbell come back because you could tell how much he meant to Grady Jarrett. You know, that was like Grady's older brother, man. And so I think it would be beneficial even to Grady Jarrett to have Calais Campbell come back because, man, you could tell how much it meant to Grady to have him out there. You could tell that he's like, oh, my God, I finally got somebody else on this line to take pressure off of me. And so I think it would be awesome to have Calais Campbell back, whether he does or doesn't. I've always been a fan of the dude. He's a class act. He's an awesome dude, man. And, you know, the one thing that I loved the most about Calais was every time, he sacked somebody, man, he hit that dirty bird. And that was just something that just hypes you up as a Falcon fan to see, no matter who does it, as long as it's a Falcon doing it. Now, when, the Aints come in there and come and do that crap, like I want to jump on the field, but, but to see Calais Campbell get sacks and do the dirty bird, he's energy, man. Even at his age, he's just energy for that defensive line. So I think it'd be huge for Calais to come back.
100%, man. This topic here is actually the last topic of the night, and it's totally off the fact of Calais Campbell in the defense. But something I want to talk about, and it's not really football related, but it's kind of football related. The new college game, man, is out for pre-orders, and I wanted to bring up the fact that Matt Ryan, was the NCAA football cover of 09, the beginning of the road to glory. Matty Ice, the first man to be on the cover of that. Guys, is anybody here in the chat? Anybody here on the live? Are you guys purchasing NCAA? Anybody?
Oh yeah,
Philip.
I may. I don't know.
Come on, bro. This is once in a lifetime, dude. This game hasn't been out in centuries, man. Since the childhood.
We're a little tight right now. That's all I'm gonna say.
Since the childhood. Oh, Cody, what gaming station do you play on?
I got a PlayStation 5, so
okay.
I'll definitely it'll definitely be on the system.
Yeah. So me and Cody's definitely gonna be running through some people on the NCAA.
Yes, sir.
Are you gonna pre-order the bundle package for the new Madden in that, or?
Oh yeah, it's 150. I'm sure. Yeah. But you get Madden for free.
I'll say I'm thinking about it. Man, I've played Madden. I've had Madden every year since '99, back on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
And the last 2 years, I haven't. The last 2 years, I bought it the last year Matt Ryan was a Falcon, and I've not enjoyed it because it just doesn't get any better. It's just the same game with updated rosters, and that bothers me a little bit. So I'm kind of hoping with college coming out that Madden's like, man, we better step it up, because the college games really, really rivaled Madden. So I'm really hoping that, so probably yes, it'll probably be something that I do, and yeah, we'll see what Madden does. Hopefully they improve.
Real quick, DFU, we have a special guest here in the lobby. Going to go ahead and bring him in. Stephen J, aka Mr. Check Down himself. Hey. What's going on, brother?
Fellas, what's going on? First of all, I appreciate you all letting me come on. I'm celebrating my son's graduation, or really promotional ceremony, and so I was able to sneak away. If you hear a woman yelling behind me, it's just my wife, mad because I sneaked away to hop on with you guys.
That's all good,
thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I really do.
Yes, sir.
We'll be around Falcons fans.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure to have you here on the channel. Like I said, I'm personally myself big fan of the edits you do here on YouTube, guys. If you're checking here on DFU, head over to the Check Down on YouTube, man, and check out this guy's edits, dude. I mean, to me, does it better than any Falcon fan that I've seen do it here on content creators. And guys, we have some really good Atlanta Falcon content creators. So if you had the chance, check out my guy, the Check Down on YouTube. Steven, with nothing else being said, man, let's get into some Falcon football. I got some topics for you, man, and I forgot to send you the topic list here tonight, but I do want to, obviously, this is just diehard Falcon fan topics. So, obviously, you've seen the moves that Terry's made throughout his 4 years here in Atlanta as the GM, and we were just speaking about it here on the channel. We feel like, personally, that Terry is possibly the best GM here in the league just because of what he's been doing. Building as far as on the offense side of things, coming out of the draft this year as the number one most overall better defense here after the draft. Your thoughts, Stephen, on what Terry has done here in Atlanta and how this leads these Falcons to success?
I think what Terry Fontenot and the front office, what they've done has been phenomenal. Now, I'll be quite honest with you. Initially, I was like, what is he doing? I mean, from the Kyle Pitts to Drake, because you think about it, when we took Kyle Pitts, everyone thought that we should be drafting a quarterback to learn behind Matt Ryan, right? Yep. We didn't do that. We went and got Kyle Pitts, tight end, never drafted that high, So again, people are scratching their heads. The next year, we go get Drake London. Now, with Drake London, a lot of people didn't really think he should be the first receiver off the board, Right, so again, people scratching their heads. And then the following year, we go and get Bijan Robinson after we have Tyler Algier, who was a dominant in the rough, who rushed for 1,000 yards. And people are scratching their heads like, well, yeah, Bijan, he's that guy. But, I mean, do you really want to take a running back that high? And you already have a running back. And then this year was the cherry on the top. We go get our our quarterback in Kirk Cousins. We pay him handsomely, and then we take a quarterback, with the 8th pick. And so when you step back though and say, well, wait a minute, and I had a chance to think about this. I'm like, look at our offense. And I know it's more about the total team than just about offense. But when you think about our weapons that we have, we have a generational talent. If they live up to what they're supposed to be at running back, we have a unicorn at tight end. We have an athletic, acrobatic catching, basketball playing wide receiver. We still have Tyler Algier. We went out and got some speed with Rondell Moore and Darnell Mooney. And it's like, man, and now we have a quarterback. And not only do we have a quarterback, he's 36. Let's say if he has 2 good years. Well, we got one waiting who's going to, sit back and watch everything that he does. And I really think, just from the quarterback perspective, we've just been so down in the doldrums for so long. And it's almost like, I'm going to get some insurance, and I'm going to get some insurance for my insurance,
Right.
And I mean, that's really, I think, the philosophy, behind it. And so I'm happy with what Terry is doing and what the front office is doing. And I say the front office because I read something recently that says that Terry is very collaborative, meaning that, before moves are made, and I know Arthur Blank is a big part of that, they really take a hard look and they talk to different people in the organization. And I think that was pretty evident when we decided not to bring in oh my gosh,
Justin Fields.
No, the coach from Bill Belichick, because Arthur Blank apparently wanted him, and so I think the powers that be underneath Arthur Blank, they had a collaborative meeting. Some will say they were trying to save their jobs. Others will say, they didn't really think that was the best move. And so, but getting back to your question. I'm happy with what Terry has done. And honestly, on the defensive side, really quickly, I'm eager to see what the defense looks like this year. I have a lot of faith in some of the draft picks we grabbed. I think that the new scheme that we may run under Raheem Morris, will be telling too. So I'm just eager. And we'll be tested soon.
And early on into the season with some hard opponents, as you said there, you got the Steelers, should be a dub here in Atlanta. You have the Eagles, then you have the Chiefs, both primetime games, and obviously fans already going in on Kirk's primetime stats. So hopefully Kirk can snap that here in Atlanta, get us that primetime win early in week 2. But just to have that early test, to me, I see it as maybe a good thing. Maybe you know what you have by week 5. You know if you're that playoff team. You know if you're the team that we're having right now, all this hype around this offense. Obviously, Zach Robinson's first year here in Atlanta as offense coordinator. There's not really no signs of what he's going to run. Obviously, most think it's going to be a West Coast style offense. But it's good to see because you have these many targets here in Atlanta. As my guy Millie Mills here with the question for Steven says, what does Rondell bring to the table that we can't get out of Bijan? To me, just my perspective on that, Rondell brings another speedster to this offensive line, an offense that has speed all around the table. My guy Steven just did a breakdown on all the speed that comes to this offense. You look at all the 40 times that these tight ends run. Kyle Pitts with a low 40 in the 40-yard dash time. I mean, it's a low 4 number. Steven, if you can remember, what was that time? 4.2, 4.3?
Kyle Pitts was 4.44. And to answer his question really quickly, Bijan is very elusive. He runs a 4.46. Rondell runs a 4.33. And so that's a difference. And so it's not one or the other, it's both.
100%. So just to have that around the table, you look at what Scotty Miller did, a couple plays. He had those big explosive plays that you talked about on your show. The guy, I forget his name, Bird.
Jameer Bird. Yeah.
Had a lot of big flashes. So to have that here in Atlanta, that's why you go get that Rondale Moore, that receiver 2, and Darnell Mooney that had over 800 passing yards before the Chicago Bears brought on DJ Moore. So you're bringing a guy that potentially and has worked as a receiver 1 at another team. Obviously, Drake London has that, I believe, locked down here in Atlanta for now. So to have a Darnell Mooney come in, to have a Rondale Moore on the roster, and whoever else you keep after this training camp battles, a lot of battles coming up. And that leads me to my next question for Mr. Steven. The training camp battles that are coming up, obviously cornerback is a big looming spot here on the defense. Other than the cornerback spot, and it may be the cornerback spot, what training camp battle are you really keyed in on? Like what section or what spot of the defense or offense are you looking to watch battles?
You know, there are two things I want to say really quickly. First off, our offensive line is rated pretty high. And I think that I like our offensive line, but we've really been dealing with somewhat mobile quarterbacks, definitely with Marcus Mariota. And Desmond, he didn't really get out a lot, but he could when he wanted to. Kirk he's straight up pocket passer. And so our O-line, sometimes blocking for the run when you're doing a lot of running, which is what Arthur Smith did, is different when you're blocking, trying to hold off the Wolves from getting to our quarterback. And so I'm eager to see how that pans out in training camp. And so, I mean, Bergeron came on last year, and a lot of people were singing his praises, and hopefully that'll carry over. And to be quite honest with you, I haven't studied the offensive line enough to really speak with some authority. Now, I've watched them, but I like to study them and see, what's really going on. And that's with really every position, because sometimes when you just watch the game and you have the color commentators, it's easy to buy into what they're saying, as opposed to going back and saying, well, let me take another look at this. And let me look at different angles. Let me look at the all 22 footage and see what's really going on. And then on the other side of the ball, I'd like to see what our pass rush does. A lot of people weren't happy that we didn't take a pass rusher or an edge rusher at 8. But I'm eager to see what Braylon Trice does. I'm eager to see what our other linemen on the defensive side
Brandon
will do.
Delorius, that's another.
Absolutely. Yep.
Man, there's just, like I said, there's so many battles that you're going to watch here when it comes to training camp. Other than the other battles, let's talk about cornerback spot. Is there any guy that Philip, this is for you, Cody, as well as Mr. Steven. Is there any cornerback, Philip, obviously you've done gaming, who you think could be cornerback 2 here in Atlanta. Philip, if it's changed, let me know. Who do you think could take that role here in Atlanta?
Are you asking me right now?
Yeah.
My pick still ain't changed. Possibly could be a D. Alford or Clark Phillips. I'm more leaning towards Clark Phillips. Like I said the other night, Raheem said, he has been showing flashes in training. Like the OTAs. He's just been showing little flashes here and there, and it's looking good. But he never once said that was who's going to take the spot. Right. We don't know yet. But those are my two that I see battling out a little bit for that number 2 spot.
Cody, anybody in particular for that QB2 or CB2 spot?
Yeah, I agree with Philip. I think Phillips there has definitely shown flashes of being a viable option there at the second quarterback position. I'm looking forward to see the steps that he takes. When we go to training camp, I'm looking to see how that shapes up.
Yep. Mr. Steven, is there any cornerback in particular that you're looking at that could be? Hold on one second. Give Mr. Steven 1 minute. We'll be right back with that question.
I can answer that
Mr. Steven, any cornerback that you see that could take CB2 here in Atlanta?
I'm eager to see how Clark Phillips does. The only question is his size. But I think he's spunky enough to really do some damage. And of course, this is the time of the year where everybody's optimistic. We're going to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying that, but you kind of feel that way when you see the moves that are made and you see all the footage that the team is putting out there and so forth. But I think Clark Phillips. I like D. Alford too. I do.
Mm-hmm. two guys there. Obviously, drafted Clark Phillips. You got D. Alford in the free agency. He was actually, I think, he was an undrafted UCFL player when he come here to the NFL. So D. Alford doing big things. Glowman as he is on Twitter. Shout out to him. Mr. Steven, we have reached our hour show. I'm definitely going to get you back here on the show, no doubt. Sorry I had to invite you such on a late time. But, Mr. Steven, we definitely want to get you back. Will you please let these people that's tuned in, let them know where they can find you out on all social media handles?
Absolutely. You can catch us on X, which, of course, used to be Twitter, at Check Downer. And the best place to really find us is on YouTube. If you just search the Check Down, you'll find our YouTube page, and we have a number of videos breaking down. We're really providing commentary on our Atlanta Falcons.
And it's stellar, guys. It's stellar. It's good work over on YouTube channel, man. Check out Mr. Steven, the Check Down on Twitter, Check Downer. Give him a subscribe, man. Let him know you came over from DFU. Leave him a comment. Mr. Steven, as I said, I'm a big fan of what you do on YouTube, brother. I love the content you put out for Falcon fans. I mean, look at the setup, guys. I mean, this is professional over here for Mr. Steven. This looks really nice here, guys. Love what you got going on, brother. And like I said, again,
We're
thank
wrapping
you.
up, man. We're
Okay, Mr. Steven obviously is busy, so thank you, Mr. Steven, for coming on the show, brother. We won't hold you any longer, man. Thank you again.
Thank you. Sorry
Yes,
about
sir.
that. Yep.
No, you're good, brother. You're all good. We'll get you back on, man. For
Thank
sure.
you. All right.
Yes, sir. Falcon fans, man, it has been a show here for Dirty Fanatics United. Episode 63 gave you some intel on what we think could happen this year, a bunch of scenarios that could happen. Had a special guest. Definitely going to get the check down back here on the show eventually one of these nights. Quick little 1 hour show tonight. Philip, Cody, it's time for shout outs. Who you got, Philip?
Always, man. Number one is always up, man. It's Lord, our God, Lord and Savior, man. Shout out him. Without him, there is no us. There is no nothing at all. Shout out to everybody out there. You know, it's graduation week. You know, next week, this week. You know, and shout out to all the graduates. Shout out to Cody's, dad. God willing, he gets better. He's gonna keep that fight, man. And we're gonna hope. We're gonna pray for him. Hope for the best. And everything. Another shout out is for the home team. Shout out to the Pirates, man, for coming back in that win and going to the state championship, baby. We were down 5-0, man, and these boys turned up. Game got delayed, come back and won the game, headed to the state championship. So shout out to the Pirates, man. That's my straw hat gang, you know what I mean? So
Yes,
shout out to y'all as well, man. And as always, man, rise up.
Yes, sir. Cody, any shout outs for tonight, brother?
Yeah, I'll always shout out to everybody who watch. Thanks for liking and subscribing, man. And I say it, without the fans, there's no reason for the three of us to get on the internet and do this, man. So always shout out to you two for doing this. It's always great to talk Falcon football. This will be my last shout out, but Mom, Lockard, I know you all are watching. I love you both. We've got a tough road ahead, but we're going to fight. Falcon Nation's behind you. DFU's behind you. The family's behind you. We love, support, guys. Anything helps. It doesn't have to be monetary. Just thoughts and prayers, man, because the other part of this fight is the mental part of it, and that's the toughest fight. When you get something like this, this is the first time I've ever had to deal with anything like this in my life, and it's been tough. And I can't tell you how thankful I am to you two for being supportive, for allowing me to use the platform to reach out and to the Falcon family. And, even though they're Cowboy fans, we still love you. We love you guys. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. It's going to be tough, but we're here for you. We're going to fight with you. We're going to keep you positive. So guys, like I say, it doesn't have to be money, prayers, thoughts, comments, go just tell them, hey, we're thinking about you. Anything helps. But again, we're going to get through it. We're going to take it one day at a time. And we're going to fight just like our Dirty Birds do. One day at a time, one step at a time, one punch at a time. We're going to do it. I'm glad you're home from the hospital. Oh, I'm glad everything turned out, well, and that you're feeling, better now. But again, guys, I can't thank, Dirty Bird Nation. I can't thank DFU enough for allowing me and my family to take this chance to spread the awareness to this. The other thing, guys, is and I'll get off my soapbox here.
There you go, brother. Good.
Go get checked, guys. You know, I know it's not something, you know, the NFL is huge on, pink and breast cancer, guys. It's important for us too. You know, it's not something that we like to talk about. It's not something that we like thinking about, but it is so important. Mm-hmm. It is so important. Go get checked. Go get, especially as we get older, man. Like, I know I'm not old yet, but I'm getting to that age where I need to start doing my due diligence too. Because, I want everybody to be here as long as we can have you here, but again, shout out to you guys for letting me do this. Shout out to Falcon Nation. Shout out to anybody who, donates, has kind words, positive vibes for my dad. But thank you guys. It means a lot. I was to say, this is my escape from reality. This is my escape from work. This is escape from stress like this. And it's just awesome to have the support, from you guys, Chase and Philip. Man, I would say, I've been on the podcast for a short time, y'all are family at this, well beyond at this point. I can't thank y'all enough for being here, man. I would say this is definitely our DFU family. And I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it, but always rise up, and Lockard, we love you, man. We absolutely love you, buddy.
Yes, sir, man. You heard it here first at DFU, man. This is a family. That's what we do here at Dirty Fanatic United, man. You viewers, my co-host, people that like this, people that subscribe, man, I count each and every one of you as family. You don't have to do what you do for this channel, but you do. So please, man, like I said, any support helps. The GoFundMe page is set up on my Facebook at Chase Cravey. It'll also be in the Facebook groups on Dirty Fanatics United. As my boy Cody said, anything helps. A prayer helps. A share helps. A like helps. Just help us reach this post out to other people. If it's $1 helps. Just anything you can contribute to this cause to help my guy Cody out, to help his family on hard times, to just give guys a sense of hope for this long battle that Mr. Michael's fixing to take on. Michael, I know you're a battler. God gives his toughest battles to his strongest warriors. So always keep that in the back of your mind. We're here with you through the fight, and I'm sure everybody that donates is there with you. Well, man, much luck to you, brother, and prayers up to you and your family. Falcon fans, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for hitting that like button. Shout out to each and everybody that did leave a comment, that did subscribe. We're at 380 subscribers, folks, almost at that 400 mark. 110 subscribers away from halfway to our goal. So, guys, haven't hit a year yet, but we're freaking climbing, man, and we greatly appreciate y'all. Shout out to each and everybody. Shout out to Philip. Shout out to Cody. Shout out to Dirty Bird Nation. Shout out to my wife for having to deal with my little boy teething right now. Definitely going through some problems with that, man. So keep the wife in the prayers as well. Shout out to each and everybody that tuned in, man. Once again, this is Dirty Fanatics United talking Falcon football. Hit that subscribe button. We out. A-Town down.